Hi there Aries, how are you guys doing? I really hope that this video finds you well. Welcome to your reading, back with me again, Anisa from the Inner Stereo. For those of you who are new to my channel, hello, and for those of you who have been here a long time, welcome back. So we're going to be doing a quick card reading by the end of the session, and we're going to be doing it a bit differently because, usually we do the future in-depth or advice card, but this time around we're going to be doing how do they feel about you. Don't forget to check your sun, moon. Can you take a deep breath for me? Because either you or your partner are extremely anxious at this very moment. So I want you to take a deep breath for me and exhale. It's very sticky. It's very anxious. What was I saying? Right. Don't forget to check your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. Because me personally, I realize that with my readings and all general readings out there on YouTube, that I resonate a lot more with my Venus sign rather than my sun sign, or my moon sign, or my rising sign, or what have you. So you might want to check that one out. And this is general reading, so the rules might actually get reversed, all right? Three of Pentacles. That's very, very interesting because you guys have a very, very torn energy. To be honest with you, when I was meditating with you guys, I feel that I was kind of like taken in a place. Anyway, the interpretation of that symbolism was that I feel in this month of October especially, you guys are going to be given a chance. Because the moon is going to be illuminating the part that hurts. It's going to be illuminating the shadow side, your fear, and everything like that. So it won't come to you as a surprise that in this month of October, you would have a certain flashbacks that came out of nowhere from somebody who wronged you from like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or maybe your current partner, whatever that is. But the purpose in there is that to heal. Because I feel that throughout your life, you guys have been, because you're fire signs like I am, right? I'm a Sagittarius. You guys have been, every time you got hurt, you always want to keep it going. You always want to get over it and move on really, really quickly because you have no time, right, to deal with that. Ain't nobody gonna kill my fire. Ain't nobody gonna kill my mojo and everything like that. The thing is that it's very, very necessary for us to go through that grieving process, to accept the fact that yes, we were hurt. And instead of going to a place of anger right away, we go through that grieving process one by one. So these flashbacks is here not to mess you up, but to heal you, all right? Let's talk about your relationship sector now, love and relationship. I know this is supposed to be like an October reading, but let's just make it, because I'm recording it on the 15th anyway, so let's make it a bi-weekly reading. So, you have the Queen of Swords, you have the Four of Pentacles, and you also have the Three of Pentacles. So if you guys are dealing with one person, a part of you still wants to make it work. A part of you still wants to take that leadership positions and says like, okay, so this is the problem with the relationship. I will come correct if that person is going to come correct. I agree to compromise if that person agrees to compromise as well. I think that is still like 25% of you who feels that way. But like 75% of your mind and heart is much more in the state of Four of Pentacles. You're now running for safety. You want to create a certain type of boundaries. You don't want to compromise if that person doesn't reach to a level that you want them to be. Right? Somebody's really anxious here. This is like the longest time I've ever shuffled. Okay. So this is your overall energy. This is what your energy is going to be like throughout the next 2 weeks. Queen of Swords. So you feel that, okay, I'm going to trust you. This is okay. This is still 25% of me still agrees on doing that. But if you were to come correct, if you want to compromise, and there are certain answers, there are certain questions that they also have to answer us correctly as well before you decided to trust them. The 75% of you is now running for safety. If you guys are in a marriage, you probably are thinking of like how to protect your assets, protect your custodies and everything like that. If you guys have been like just in dating space or like a relationship sector, you guys are starting to become stingier in your efforts and your talks and everything like that because you feel that this person owes you something. But the possibilities of doing something to make it work is still there, but majority is not. However, if you guys are dealing with two people, because we also do two people scenarios in this channel, one person, you want to study them, you feel that there's something there to be worked upon, and then one person, the other person, you're completely shutting them off. Is like you'd rather disappear to, from the face of the earth rather than just kind of like interacting with this person anyway. What is the overall challenge of this relationship? You got the 10 of Wands and you also have the 6 of Wands. So one person in this particular relationship is taking the heavy burden of the relationship very, very much. And then on the other hand, the other person, the other party is not doing nothing. So one person is the only person who is carrying the burden. And the second one is that you got the 6 of Wands. You have somebody who likes to be listened to. You have somebody who likes to be heard. You have somebody who likes to be seen. So this could be you, this could be them, because the overall challenge is not so black and white as the past, present, and future. Okay, so what happened in the past? You invested a lot of your time in there. You feel that you were dealing with a salesperson, you were dealing with a showman, because you got the Magician card in here, who always have something clever to say, who knows exactly what to do to charm you in, to lure you in, and everything like that, that made you invest in this relationship, right? Because the 7 of Pentacles in this deck of mine is still putting in the work. She's still watering the plant. But the more you observe the situations, the more that you're starting to feel that this person is not emotionally that available. You feel that this person is emotionally shut off. You feel that they're in their own world. Even when you guys are together, it's just that emotional connection is just not there. They weren't willing to go that deep with you. You know what I mean? But this person touched you very, very deeply, though, because you got the Page of Cups. So there was some intentions in your heart where you felt that, you know what, with this person, because they were the Magician, right? They were able to smoke some mirrors, intelligently knows exactly the things to do to lure you in, up to the point that you were like, you know what, like, I'm willing to do this. This thing, I wasn't willing to do with somebody else, but with this person, I'm willing to do that. But then you're starting to see the truth, right? This person is not that emotionally available. From their perspective, they will say that they're doing that to protect their emotions. But for you, it's unfair, because I was willing to do something for you that I've never ever done for anybody else. So I think it's either you went full Aries or you went full Libra. Went full Aries, I mean, you completely confront them head first, protest against them, or you went completely air signs, ghost, or disappear. Or you're just not having it any longer. You try to kind of like rip apart all of their arguments, all of the things that they've said to you, because you can't believe them anymore. You're not willing to bend your spine backwards again. So now you're in the energy of the King of Wands. So King of Wands says, I am going to be heard this time. I'm going to be listened to. We're going to do this my way. I'm willing to agree on something, because you got this Hierophant card and also the 4 of Wands, right? We've said this in the beginning. You are ready to agree on something, but listen to me. And I think this type of changes, the changes of the behavior that you're exhibiting towards this person, comes to them as a shock. They're pleased with the fact that they can sense that you would want to collaborate, but you coming in with this energy of a King of Wands back into your own element shocks the hell out of them, because they've never seen this side of you before. They've never seen that fire in you before, which is odd, don't you think? They've probably seen it in other areas, but not when you guys are pushing your opinion, or when you guys push in your wants, when you guys are kind of like emphasizing. Not only are you drawing your circles of boundaries, you're emphasizing them, and you're putting it in capital letters. You know what I mean? This is my boundaries. Capital letters, bold, 120 font. Nagartuma sad pandemis 5 cards in the future. Justice card, Page of Cups. So you guys might be dealing with a air sign. So that will be air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You might be dealing with a Gemini or Virgo. You might be dealing with a water sign, a Taurus, or a fire sign. Or you might be dealing with a Cancer, or a Sagittarius, and Pisces, Capricorn there, Libra. So, what happens in the future? So I think what happens in the future is that, you see, this person, because of how they feel in the now with you, the fact that it came to them as a shock, the fact that you could be the King of Wands, now they're back to where they started, where they have a little bit of a trust issues when it comes to opening up, when it comes to trusting somebody, when it comes to falling for somebody, when it comes to becoming emotionally vulnerable for somebody. There's going to be an opportunities in the horizons in the future, even if you guys are in no contact period. This person will try to befriend you, to talk to you as a friend, not really as a lover, but as a friend. But still, like a little bit skeptical whether they should trust you or not. But I feel that in the future, you guys are going to be much more pragmatic, like a Capricornian type of attitude. You will have your clarity, you will have your full conclusion. And I feel that that conclusion is going to be good. You're going to be communicating all your shadow side, all of your fears and what you think about them and everything like that. I could see that happening in the future. And they would gladly accept that because, again, they appreciate the friendship aspect of this relationship. So they're going to be taking that giant leap of faith, doing a trust fall, completely trusting you as a friend. So this relationship has the possibilities of being repaired, but it will start from the friendship aspect first. So it's not going to be all lovey-dovey and cuddly and like, oh, I love you so much, I miss you so much, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Nah, it's going to be from a friendship aspect where you guys are going to be talking to each other as a friend. Even if you guys are in a marriage, it's not going to be like two people crying like, oh, I'm sorry. No, you guys are going to rebuild the relationship by communicating as a friend. Because that's very, very important. I mean, I have Venus in Aquarius. For me, like, being a best friend and a lover at the same time is very, very important. Yeah, it's looking good for you, Aries, especially if you guys are dealing with two people. You'd feel very, very much optimistic about it again. Because here's the thing, right? Because this person, like for you, this person is, when they're at their best, they make you feel expansive. They make you get going in a good way. So it's looking good for me here, Aries. Alright, so now let's move on to the two people scenarios. I'm going to be putting a timestamp right over here to when the P card reading starts. Now let's move on to the two people scenario. So if you guys are only doing one person, just skip ahead to the P card reading because the next reading is not going to be for you. Person A is somebody who you've invested a lot, you've sacrificed a lot, you watered the plants, you did everything, all that you could, but I feel that this person was emotionally shut off, was very, very emotionally unavailable with you, and all of those stuff. In the now, they're coming out of a period where they feel kind of like they're in a healing process right now. And then I feel that with this person, you guys are looking at it from a traditional perspective. You could tolerate them. And I feel that with this person A, you will have the full conclusion on your own. So you will get the clarity that you're looking for. But again, this person is still the same person in the beginning, whereas they have like a major trust issues. When it comes to love and relationship, they like to be independent. They like to be on their own. They like to rely on themselves a lot. So just so you know. And then person B, well, with this person, you have a lot of problems because, I don't know, you just hate them. I despise them. It angers you and everything like that. Because you feel that this person is just like a salesman. They are able to create some sort of illusions. You just hate that about them. Probably Gemini or Virgo. And then in the now, you guys are much more assertive, and it's either you cut them off or you're being very, very blunt and honest about them and everything like that. They got hurt by you. And then in the future, they're going to try to rebuild the friendship aspect of the relationship. You're like, we'll see type of attitude. You probably would want to have sex with them. But that's about it. All right, okay. So now let's move on to the P card reading. Alright, so I have 4 piles of cards with me now. This is pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, this is pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to give you 20 seconds of full silence so that you guys can concentrate. Remember to only pick one pile of cards for one person. If you have multiple people, then it's okay for you to choose multiple piles of cards. But remember which is for who. Alright? Are you done? If you're not done, then you could just replay it back, okay? So for those of you who chose pile number 1, you have the Knight of Wands in reverse, you have the Queen of Wands, you have the 8 of Cups, and then you also have the 4 of Pentacles. Whoever it is that you're dealing with feels that you guys have done them wrong, and it's their ego that is on the line in here. Because they're a very, very prideful person, right? With the Queen of Wands in here, you could just judge by the imagery how prideful this Queen of Wands really does look like. You might be dealing with a fellow fire sign as you are too, or maybe an earth sign. But this person is pretty much prideful. And the reason why they have been behaving very, very inconsistently or flaking out, with that Knight of Wands in reverse, making you question whether you could trust this person, whether this person is reliable for you or not, and everything like that. They did it purposefully. That's because they feel that you guys have hurt their ego one way or another, where they didn't get their way about something and they're being petty about it. So you can see with the 8 of Cups in here, it's not that they are emotionally retreating backwards emotionally. It's not that they are retreating emotionally away from you and everything like that. No, this is just like one time only, you cross their ego, you hurt their pride, and now they're being petty. So now they're like the 4 of Pentacles. They're being a hoarder right now, right? They're trying to convince themselves that they don't need you. They don't need you. I have all the things that I need in my life. I don't think I need Aries, because Aries hurts my ego. If you are expecting this person to do something about this relationship, to come forward or to approach you or whatever that is, it's not going to happen, because we're talking about pride. Here, their pride is on the line, and it's like, you have to come to me. Instead of me coming to you, they feel that the ball is in your court. Depending on how you guys really feel about this person and on what stage of relationship are you in and everything like that, but I don't really like this pile of cards, to be honest with you, because it's very petty, and you know, I'm now old enough to not want to have somebody with a petty attitude. If you guys have been in a period of no contact where you heard nothing of that sort with this person has already been talking to somebody else because they're hoarding their attentions to make themselves better. To make themselves feel better because you've hurt their pride. And it's a long way to go with this Queen of Wands in here, especially with this type of pile of card. It's a long way to go. Not only do you also have to approach them once, maybe 2 times, 3 times, depending on how they feel or how satisfied their ego feels to them. Only then will they give in. But again, this is an extremely prideful person. Extremely proud. Okay, so that is it for those of you who chose pile number 1. Now let's move on to those of you who chose pile number 2. So you got the Lover's card, you have the Emperor, you have the Ace of Pentacles, and then you have the 7 of Pentacles. Overall, it's looking really good because in this particular deck of mine, the Lover's card, there's 2 Lover's card in here. The first one is that when that person is still in a decision-making process, and the second one is when they already make decisions about loving the other person, and they love you. Right, so they already made a decision to fall for you. Why, Anisa? Is because they feel that you have what it takes. There is a certain quality in you that they believe that if it were to be nurtured and nourished well, then that the relationship between you and them has a potential for a long-term stability and commitment. It's a very masculine force here with the Emperor card. So I feel that whoever it is that you're dealing with, this person is going to come forward. This person is going to do the work, the masculine work, you know, of approaching, of coming forward, of wanting to get to know you, of planting the seeds, observing the details, planning things out and everything like that. Because this person has already decided that, yep, you're the one. I think I'm going to see where it goes. I mean, it's still the Ace of Pentacles, right? It's not yet 10 of Pentacles. So they're like, okay, I see the potentials. I'm going to invest in here. And we'll see where it goes, but they are already 80% in. They feel that you guys are just extremely gorgeous, extremely awesome. There is a sense of innocence in you too that they really like. It kind of like reminded them of their childhood crush. Before they make that decisions of a fallen for you, they've already weighed in the pros and cons, and yet again they see the potentials in you. They had that inspiration somewhere, maybe just by watching a movie or just talking to somebody elderly or whatever that is, but it's just like, oh yep, you know, Aries is the one. I want to invest in Aries. So this pile of cards is actually extremely good. Alright, so for those of you who chose pile number 3, the World card, Justice, Knight of Cups, and also the 2 of Cups in reverse. You swept them off their feet. They're usually very sane, intellectual, somebody who doesn't, you know, do things impulsively and hard, you know, on a... They're not usually that type of person. But with you, the connection is just so amazing. It's something that they've never felt before. Before they met you, they have no problem at all of charming other people, flirting with other people, you know. Surrounding themselves by their fans or their other suitors. As you can see with the Knight of Cups in here. There are many people who are throwing themselves at this person, and this person has no problem at all dealing with them. But when it comes to you, because you swept them off their feet, it's difficult. I mean, as you can see here yourself, the Knight of Cups is pretty passive in here. Like, look, come and get me. These people that surrounds me, these people who are throwing themselves at me, I'm not interested. I'm only interested in Aries. But it's a very, very passive energy because they're very shy. It's a feeling that they never encountered before, and they're so afraid of that. They're afraid of making a fool of themselves. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of getting ignored. So it's a very passive one. Different than the pile number 1. The pile number 2 has a good intention, but it's just that this person just doesn't want to make the first move, or just doesn't want to be the first person who opens up, because this person is extremely shy and don't know anything what to do with the emotions that they feel towards you. I think with this person you might have had like a falling out of some sort. And then now they're just kind of like waiting around for you to come around. Usually the type of person who would choose comfort over feelings, because, you know, nobody ever hit them in that feels that hard as you do. But you did, and they don't know what to do about it. So they're extremely passive. One person in this person's circle is extremely into this person. And depending on how long your relationship has been, especially if this is like a long-term relationship, I think you have a pretty good idea of who I'm talking about. Somebody very, very close in his circle or her circle that is very, very into this person, but this person is just not interested. This person is only interested in you. But again, it's a very passive one. So if you want to make this work, you're going to be the one who come to them, because they're very, very shy. So for those of you who chose pile number 4, 6 of Swords, Judgment, the Sun card, 3 of Wands, and also the Moon card. So after a careful observations about you, because this is the type of person who just doesn't fall in love with people or falling into feelings that fast. You know, it took a while for them, because I think you might be dealing with either a Capricorn, a Leo, or maybe a Pisces or a Cancer. It takes a while for these people to trust somebody, to love them deeply. So it took a while, probably 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, I don't know. But something that got to do with number 6. It takes them a while to consider you as somebody worthy for them to be emotionally available for. They're extremely pragmatic about it. So after that careful considerations, after consulting to their heart and also their wants and needs, they have decided that they only want you. So this person right now is extremely hopeful that you guys can make something about this relationship. This might be like a typical Sun and Moon conjunction. You know, like for instance, if you're Aries Sun, so the person that you're dealing with might have an Aries Moon, or they have an, that type of thing. Or their Sun conjunct your Moon. Because no matter how practical you want to view that type of synastry, it always hits you in the sweet spot, you know what I mean? And that this relationship between you and them, you know, balances out between the light and the darkness. So when the things are great, it was extremely great. It makes them feel very, very joyful. It makes them want to smell the roses. It makes them to want to enjoy their life better. It makes them to become even more inspired and motivated in life and everything like that. But then also because it's very, very, I mean, the Moon card is actually a positive card, but for some people, it might be a scary experience, because depending on what the Moon is trying to illuminate, right? Is it trying to illuminate the sweet spot that we have in our life, or is it trying to illuminate the dark side, our shadow side that we've been trying to push aside for quite a while? But this person is very, very hopeful. I mean, look at with this 3 of Wands. They're very, very welcoming. They're very, very embracing. They look forward to doing something about this relationship. They're kind of like waiting for that ship to come. They're waiting for that opportunity to come so that they could jump aboard. to have something with you, because it took them a while to figure things out, to figure how they feel about you and everything like that. But now they're really, really into this. Okay, so I think that is it for my reading for you, Aries. I hope that you find tons and tons of clarity that you've been looking for. And I'll see you guys next week for your weekly reading. Alright, bye-bye guys. Have a great day. I love you.